Right-hand corner of Antigua Shipyard, we have our red Zerg player, new player from LG Incredible Miracle. Give it up for Losira.
With those fast hands, well, fast elbows.
And his opponent here in the top left-hand corner, winning the last 2 games for Team Liquid in a row, our blue Terran player, Liquid TaeJa.
The crowd is pumped. I'm pumped. You're pumped. We're all psyched out about this. It's going to be awesome. They are cross positions, of course, because that is how this map works.
That is how God intended this map to be created. So
absolutely, man. I mean, if you have those other positions, it does get a little bit tricky for Zerg, but they have plenty of space to work with, and we are going to find out within the next few minutes here what each player is planning, and I'm really going to be watching Losira closely, man. I mean, I can't wait to see what he has to bring at Liquid TaeJa.
So, yeah, I mean, like we said, it's probably going to be something specifically designed for this map because it's not a normal choice for Zerg players against Terran players, but we'll see how TaeJa wants to prepare. It looks like he's going to drop down at barracks a little bit out of position. Should be easily scouted by Losira, but it's going to be a bit closer to his opponent.
Yep, that's right. So it's not really, you know, quote-unquote hidden per se. It's just kind of something to get Losira thinking a little bit, and he's actually going to probably float that down to the low ground as well so that Losira doesn't scout it quite as easily. That's a good idea there, Losira. Of course, going for that 15 hatchery. No surprise there, as it is kind of the most standard of standard openings, and probably all of StarCraft 2 is 15 hatch against Terran. But look at those hands, man. That is some fast APM.
Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy fast. Wow.
So, you know, we've mentioned in the past, though, that, well, TaeJa's actually matching him 1-for-1, I have to say, as we take a look at the APMs on stream there. But TaeJa, with that first barracks just about to complete here, looks like he is going to expand the gasless variety, put down the command center here momentarily. Losira did pick up. No, he actually was just outside of the range of that barracks. So
no way.
He may be wondering what's going to hit him here in a second.
Yeah, he didn't see it, and it wasn't actually flowed down the low ground. He's probably going to scout it now. Yep, he does see it. Okay, so he's like, all right, so no proxy to racks. I'm feeling a little bit better about that now.
And he's going 3 hatch before pool, it looks like. So we talked about organized build for this map. It's something that we've seen a little more often lately, but making sure that he has the best economic footing to start off this game.
That's pretty impressive here. So there's the gas and the spawning pool going down. Actually, the gas is going down at TaeJa's base. Losira's going to try to stick around there for a little while, get some scouting information. Now, TaeJa did see the very late spawning pool. That should tell him that there's a 3rd hatchery out there somewhere. We'll see if he scouts for it. Just to be sure. Yeah, it looks like he's kind of moving in that direction here. You know, remember I said before the game, I felt like this map was a little bit risky to do this type of thing on. No mystery at all for TaeJa. He knows exactly what's up, and how is he going to respond?
Now, Losira, of course, is being very, very annoying with that extractor steal. But as we can see, yeah, TaeJa putting up that 3rd command center. So he's going to make sure that he has pretty great economic footing as well. And we could be in for a very, very long game.
Yep. Oh, Losira does let the gas finish. This is a good idea by Losira to deny TaeJa that 2nd gas for as long as possible, especially with him having a few less Marines out than you normally would at this point. The reason why he wants to deny that gas so much is because a lot of times the follow-up to this is very tech-heavy. It's Banshees, it's upgrades, it's things like that. So if he can slow that down in any way, he can make sure that he has, you know, more drones out, more units out. He's ready for those pushes. So good decision by Losira to steal that gas early on.
Okay, well, finally the extractor is cleaned up. TaeJa didn't look like he was too interested in putting up another Vespian, or another, I should say, refinery over at the Natural. So just going to sit on that 1 gas for a while, and we'll see what he moves into. Whoa! A 4th command center?
All right, wow, craziness coming out for Liquid TaeJa. Really cool stuff. The thing is he's going to be able to take his 3rd faster, but he's going to be able to saturate those 3 bases so incredibly quickly. He's going to have as many scans as he wants. He's going to have mules aplenty. He's really going to be in a great spot to just have a huge economy and see anything he wants to see. I mean, it's fine. It's a little bit risky, but when you see your opponent go for that 3 hatch before pool, you know you're going to have time. So why not go for it? I can't wait to see how this works out.
Okay, well, a few Zerglings are going to make their way out, but just taking map control at the moment, not really anything they're going to pick up on. This is one way to do a reactor Hellion expand, I suppose. The reactor in the factory is coming up, but behind 4 orbital commands.
Yep, now Losira does have 3 Queens on the way and a Spine Crawler, so as far as defending against those Hellions, he should be in a pretty good spot for that. And TaeJa isn't doing anything like we see some other Terran players do, of put like a bunker outside the Natural to deny a creep spread for a little bit. He's not doing that. So Losira should be able to be prepared for those Hellions once they show up. Yeah, even gets a scout, sees the reactor, even sees the factory lifting off a little bit here. So both of these players just doing a really good job of keeping tabs on what the other one is doing.
Does catch a glimpse of the third orbital command as well, but of course hasn't been able to check out that fourth quite yet. Zergling finally does pass quietly into the night. Starport coming up now with the tech labs. We're going to see a Banshee follow-up to this, but that fourth orbital command is on the way.
Yep, that's right. And so how will TaeJa decide to use all that? You know, will he move out and take a quick relatively third? I feel like he's probably going to, but we'll see. He's getting those double upgrades. This is very, very similar to a build that we see a lot of Terrans do anyway, including TaeJa, which is double upgrades, Banshees, and then a fast third. But he's adding in that fourth base. That's going to be like an interesting X factor to see, you know, if he's going to be able to really make use of that or not. Yeah.
All right, well, TaeJa making his way down now just to kind of get a look at what his opponent is doing. But, of course, Losira opening up some pretty good creep spread, has a lot of active tumors there to be able to spread that as efficiently as possible. And, of course, we kind of see it advance at an exponential rate, and we'll be able to move out very quickly in just a couple of minutes.
Yep, that's right. He's got that creep spread going just about as quickly as possible. Ton of queens here. Gas on the way. A lot of gas, actually. Losira going up to all 6 of his gases at all 3 bays. So he's going to be teching very aggressively very soon. He has those double Evo chambers for upgrades. But here comes TaeJa with some Hellions here. Don't feel like he's going to be able to poke in and do too much. Looks like he's going to be able to get a creep tumor or 2. Possibly, yes, he does get those, but there are plenty of queens at that 5 range. They're going to be able to chase those away, no problem.
All right, well, TaeJa rolling back now with those Hellions. He has put down that third orbital command, starting to produce some SCVs from it and starting to resaturate with this fourth base as well. First couple of Banshees starting to make their way out. No cloak on the way, though, so just going to try and do whatever damage he can of the uncloaked variety, but Losira already preparing with a couple of sport callers. And I apologize, as I've lost volume to myself, so I'm listening to myself on echo right now. So
I cannot hear a thing you're saying, but I will try to listen through the headsets. Oh, there we go, great. All
Hooray!
Right, so, okay, Baneling Nest coming up for Losira. He does always like to use a very heavy Baneling style. So, if TaeJa does, you know, go for something Marine heavier, that could work out. But right now, TaeJa getting his armory, really concentrating on those upgrades. Hellions doing a good job, you know, again, of preventing the creep spread from continuing all that much. And look at this, Losira coming in with some Zerglings. TaeJa does have some Marines in position, though, and this shouldn't do too much damage.
No, it looks like Losira trying to split those up to draw some forces away. They will get a worker kill or 2 here, but nothing going to be all that major. They are going to get picked off very quickly.
Wow, he did get one. And, oh, he could get in, he could get in.
Oh, and he sees the fourth orbital command.
Yeah, he does. He sees everything that's going on now. Even gets another SCV kill in the end, just kind of celebrate the great scouting there. And so, again, it's like I've been saying all along. Losira's been doing such an awesome job of getting in there and seeing everything. That Zergling's still alive.
There it goes.
It's a worker revolt. There we go. We got him now.
Well, TaeJa running out now with his Hellions. He's actually running up against quite a bit of creep spread, as we mentioned before. I mean, that's very, very pretty well played out there by Losira, and just continues that going forward. Of course, known as an incredibly high APM player and showing it off there. This Banshee finally saying, yay, I can do things. I'm not going to be repelled. Picks off a couple of Zerglings there.
Yep, now Losira going for that 1130 lair here, and he hasn't put down a Spire yet, so there's a very good chance that we're going to see Ultralisk with this. Oh, those Zerglings. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I like that. But here we go. More Zergling counterattacks. They are big on this map. And there we go, killing some SCVs.
Now, of course, this isn't going to be the worst deal in the world for TaeJa. He already does have that fourth orbital command, as we saw so long ago, and going to put up a couple more as well. He's going to be on a total of 6 command centers soon.
That's right. Oh, but the Zerglings do see it right away. So Losira, again, you know, no mystery from him. He might even be able to cause a cancel with that. Nope, he doesn't. And here we go, another Zergling counterattack getting prepared. You know, it's like I mentioned before the game started. This map is really all about the Zergling counterattacks. If you can get in there when your opponent is not expecting it, you can do huge amounts of damage to the economy. And Losira now going up to a Spire. Okay. So he's going to have that Hive upgrades, but we'll see what tech route he decides to go, whether it will actually be Ultras or Broodlords first for him.
So, as we can see, TaeJa pushing his way down with a couple of Hellions there. These Queens just continuing to be diligent about their creep spread. Losira trying to make sure that he takes control of most of the map as Losira swings through, though, with a bunch of Zerglings running into just a handful of Marines there.
Yeah, he's going to kill off a few. Oh, smart move, sending some to the third base as well. And TaeJa's army is not in position at the third base right now. There's a lot of damage being done. Yep.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to burrow and be able to clean up most of the rest of that. The more orbital commands aren't actually going to finish up, it looks like, because the Zerglings are taking care of gas more than anything else.
There are Zerglings in TaeJa's main right now. They are burrowing and just being annoying here, but TaeJa moving across the map with a very strong army. Adrenal glands upgrade going down for Losira, finishing up that 2-2. Great fungals! TaeJa does not have a lot of medevacs to heal through this.
No, he doesn't, but he has picked up a couple of infestors as well. Almost four infestors going down there. The Zerglings aren't going to be able to move in and clean everything else up, though.
Yeah, and look, still the third and the main. There are still Zerglings hanging out underground there. They are burrowed. TaeJa can't see them unless he scans. Doesn't have a missile turret there as well. Here comes another Zergling counterattack. This one not going to work out. Too many Marines in a tank there.
No, that one gets repelled very quickly, but Losira putting on an impressive display of multitasking here, making sure he keeps perfect tabs on what his opponent is up to.
Yeah, well, TaeJa's about to run into a very, very difficult part of this game because Losira is going for Greater Spire, and TaeJa is putting down 2 more factories. He wants to get a higher tank count, but that's not going to help him against the Broodlords. He doesn't have any Vikings out right now at all, so if Losira can surprise him with those Broodlords, he can take him out. He can tie things up for Incredible Miracle.
And Losira's going to swing back through, but this is not a bad opportunity for TaeJa to go ahead and move out, as he does have no threat of Broodlords currently.
Yep, that's right. TaeJa trying to kind of decide what to do. He's in the middle of the map. Oh, Losira thinking about poking in at the middle. He's still doing damage at the natural, but right now TaeJa's army is the big threat. TaeJa killing off a lot of creep tumors. That does help. The Zerg units will be slower once that clears away, but will Losira give him time? TaeJa also does manage to, or has managed to even up the supply as well. Losira's had a bit of a hard time taking a 4th base, whereas TaeJa's economy has just been absolutely huge, but there are 5 Broodlords on the way right now.
5 Broodlords are on the way, but and just about to finish up, I might add. These infestors trying to delay this force for a while, but TaeJa already splitting up the Marines, or at least sent off a group of them for a while. Still does have a considerable force in the middle of the map and has been able to effectively take out and deny a couple of bases. So Losira's only been working off of 3 mining bases this entire game, trying to establish this 4th here in the top right-hand corner, but hasn't been able to successfully transfer any drones quite yet.
Yeah, the multitasking is going to really come in key for TaeJa right now. He needs to not only keep Losira on 3 bases, but also keep track of his army and keep track of his home base as well. Oh, some Zerglings taking a few hits there, going up to defend that hatchery.
Yeah, they are. It looks like they're going to be able to swing in and pick up this orbital command here. So
they will.
Once again, TaeJa able to destroy a base down in the bottom left-hand corner, so he's being pretty good about that. The Zerglings going to swing back through as these did unburrow themselves, picking off a couple more workers there.
Oh man, TaeJa ready to defend at home, but the Zerglings running into the natural, going to try to focus on a few SCVs, but this kind of seems like an exercise in futility with 6 orbital commands out right now. TaeJa's not going to have any trouble at all remaking those SCVs. He's got a decent bank too, so no problem. He's got the middle base now on the map. Losira, you know, he was looking like he was in a pretty decent position, but now, you know, he's got a bit of a rough time ahead of him. He's really going to have to play a fantastic late game with those Broodlords to be able to come back and win this.
Sounds like that South Park meme. If you come up against TaeJa, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Well, Losira does, throw away a bunch of Zerglings there. He's trying to make another 50 at the moment and morph in a couple more Broodlords. Yeah. He's got 2 more on the way. It's going to give him a total of 9 here in a second. So that's a significant army. It's nothing to sneeze at, but the Viking count is starting to increase now for TaeJa.
The fungal growths are going to be absolutely key. If Losira can get his infestors in and fungal that army and hold them in position while the Broodlords do their damage, then he should be able to do it. And here come the Broodlords and the Zerglings. Losira attacking. This is a mistake. The Marines can run right up, but will the Fungals be good enough?
And wow, look at that. TaeJa actually backing up, and so he doesn't bait out any of the Fungals, but then again, doesn't lose any of his Marines either. And he's running up, picks off a couple of Broodlords. Finally, some Fungals pinning down those Marines up at the front.
Yeah, he killed like 2 Broodlords there. He does have to pull back a little bit, but he made Losira pay for it. Losira coming in. The tanks are on siege. Oh, TaeJa needs to be so careful right now.
TaeJa reproducing his forces very quickly. He's got 2 Thor, 6 Vikings, and a handful of Marines coming up at any given point in time. So he is going to have a significant amount of anti-air, but we'll see if that cues up some sort of a tech switch from Losira. Losira making his way forward, not able to get a fungal growth to pin down those Marines, though.
Like, TaeJa is 1 or 2 fungals away from losing this game. He needs to play these next few minutes absolutely perfectly if he wants to stand up to the might of Losira's late game army. Losira gathering more Broodlords in the center map. Here's the drop, though, in the main base. TaeJa, can he do enough damage with it?
Well, there's a couple of spine crawlers up, but nice transfusion there, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. At the same time, TaeJa actually making his way up to the top right, taking off the base here as well.
TaeJa doing a great job. There's the scan to pick off those drones. And Losira, you know, again, he needs to do damage with this late game army.
So TaeJa actually able to pick up a significant number of Zerglings there as well, continuing to do damage, actually working at the hive for now. Finally, some Zerglings being sent in. Losira does have that critical portion of the middle of the map, but look at that Viking count now.
Oh, the Banelings are getting away from the army. Is that, oh no, all the Banelings just wasted on the Thors. Does Losira have enough? The Vikings getting bungled, but not a lot of anti-air there. And TaeJa pushing ahead. I can't believe it. There's the mule!
Lands the mules down, picks off the rest of the Broodlords there. He's doing so much damage. He's killed the base in the top right-hand corner as well. He's done so much damage over at the main. Losira is kind of on his last legs here.
Yeah, Losira not looking too happy in that picture. TaeJa able to siege up that middle ground base from the high ground. Losira didn't have enough anti-air to deal with that. Completely wasted his Banelings, and now he is in dire straits. The game's not over yet, but TaeJa got himself a big advantage right there.
So Losira's bank of resources is going down very rapidly. TaeJa, though, putting up 2 more armories. We may see some sort of a starport or a heavier mecha play here in just a second as he'll need those upgrades.
But, he's in a position where he can kind of do whatever he wants tech-wise. I mean, he's got a great spot. He's pushed his opponent back. He's reduced the economy. He's continuing to kill creep. All he needs to do is play a little bit safe. He's going to lose a couple mules here. But he's got so many orbitals, it's insane. He's got so much energy to call them mules. Yeah, there's another couple right there. He's like, oh, he killed some orbitals? Oh, no problem. Replace those 2 and 3, yeah.
So even Planetary Fortress is up as well, just kind of rub salt in the wound, make sure that those basics aren't going to die.
Oh, Losira.
Trying to make his way out, but already loses a lot of Zerglings just with that little push. Going to try and lead forward with the Broodlords once again, but there are 9 Vikings, 2 Thors, 59 Marines on the field.
Losira is not going to be able to max out unless he takes more bases, and I don't know if he can at this point. TaeJa has such what looks like an unbeatable army. Here we go, Losira trying his best, but TaeJa has such a huge force coming in. Does he have enough? Though more mules landing. TaeJa saying, get out of the game. And will Losira do it? That's got to be about it.
TaeJa just won it.